So thank you for being in your town. What's the thing? Like, how many workshops a year do you think you do?
I don't do as many as I used to. I'm probably doing like 4 or 5 a year now.
That's good. That's still good.
That's as much as I want to do.
Yeah. And then are you all over the place, or are you
BC and Alberta.
Yeah.
I don't travel outside that area that much anymore because like that takes a lot of time. And
it does. I just did a bunch in Ontario, and it's like, oh man, that's actually and flying with your paint, and I gotta this and that, and oh my god, there's too much to remember. I don't mind. I'd teach 1 million workshops if I could drive.
Right.
Like when I put everything in my car and I don't worry, that's great. But flying, it's such sometimes a big hassle. Yeah.
But I love doing the live workshops because I do stuff online now too, right? But
it's so online is 100% different, is it not?
Totally.
And don't get me wrong, I love online too.
Yeah.
But there's no thing.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here yakking away, and I'm like, is anyone listening to me? Like, is there I can't see someone in the back falling asleep going, well, I'm boring that person, and other people are like, I get no feedback. It's
and everybody's muted, and And I mean, I keep getting asked to go to Ottawa and Toronto. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not going to do that. So now I'll do a Zoom for them. Because I don't have to travel, and it's good. But it takes getting used to. It's so different.
It does. I had a lady who's a comedian, and she said to me one time, well, you're going to be a comedian. Like, you want to be, I would love to be a comedian like you. And she says, oh, that's no big deal. Being a comedian's the easy part. Do you like to travel? Do you like a suitcase? Do you like to live in hotels?
Yeah, right.
Do you like to always be carting shit around and never knowing where you're going and eating really bad food? And it goes, because if you can put up with that, you could probably be a comedian. The comedian part's the easy part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. David Langevin. Hello, is in the house. He's come to the Potato Water Thursday pod. What do we do? Art and I don't even know what we call this thing anymore. There's so many names. It's on YouTube. Check us out all day. I don't have a theme song yet. We're working. Somebody send me some music for a theme song, please. I need a theme song. Yeah, you play guitar. Why don't you write me a theme song, man?
I'll do that.
Okay,
right away.
I'm in. I'll come to Kamloops next week for my theme song. All right.
All right, on.
So let me ask you that. How'd you end up in Kamloops?
That was an accident. Not an accident, but so I was trying to get my art career off the ground. I was talking about this at the workshop today, actually. So I was trying to get my art career off the ground. And you know how back in the day you'd remember you go to, because you'd sell your art through galleries, or in Quebec where I was, right?
Yeah.
It's either you're selling through galleries or you sell through an agent.
Yeah.
Right. That was it.
That's it.
Yeah. And so you'd make an appointment with the gallery, and you'd take all your paintings down there and you'd line them up.
Slap them all the way down.
Yeah. And the gallery owner would walk in and no. Right.
Right. I know.
But I had a couple of friendly, nice galleries say, your style, what you're grooving on, that would probably work better out west.
Oh.
Because there was, back in those days, there was no east-west connection like there is now, where, Quebec artists are out west and Western artists are down east. And
it used to be Quebec artists. You could tell 100%.
Yeah.
You knew I can't even think of the guys, quirky little people and hockey players
that
and
stuff.
You knew in the little buildings and churches, man, you knew 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, these are the Quebec artists. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what happened then. And I had a couple of galleries say, you know what, probably out west for you. And that was it. Came out west.
How'd you get Kamloops?
That was the thing, right? So we were on our way out west, and from Montreal, and I was thinking big city, maybe Calgary, maybe Vancouver, right? So coming through, Calgary to Vancouver, you stop somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Pulled up in Kamloops, and I looked around and went, this place is ugly. I'd never seen the desert, right?
It's deserty.
Right?
It is. It's got all the sand dunes, and there's a biosphere. You can see the line right on the mountain where trees, desert.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's just a little eco zone right in the middle there. And so and living in Quebec at the time, if you saw any pictures on TV or anything in calendars, you always saw Whistler or Lake Louise.
Of course,
or
yeah.
Banff,
Best of
right?
the best.
So
yeah.
no pictures of Kamloops. I was like, what is this planet?
Sorry, we're not dissing you, Kamloops.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We love
I
you.
love
We
Kamloops,
you.
and it's been beautiful. It's been great.
Yeah.
But that was it. Got stuck there, and that was
You sound,
over 30
you
years
sound
ago.
like the CCR song.
right.
I stepped off the bus and well, that's it. I can't go anywhere.
I'm
I got
here.
no money. I'm left. This is
Yeah.
where we are. How long you been in Kamloops then?
Since 1992.
Oh, you're a lifer then.
Oh, yeah.
You're a lifer.
That's the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a good kind of hub though,
It's
because you can
perfect.
get to Kelowna in no time. You can get to
Yeah.
Vernon. It's
The
just, you might as well
location
get to
is
Vancouver.
so
You get to
good.
Calgary, and it's always on a
Right.
travel through.
Very
So,
central.
Yeah, it's a very central.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, and it's a nice size city. I don't miss the big city life.
Yeah, you
so
don't want to be here
much,
anymore. Tell me.
right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't miss that. So it's a nice size. And at first it was like small and like,
When you go to Kamloops, were you married? Were you?
Yeah.
Do you got someone that goes, well, no, we're not. No.
Oh, yeah,
No,
for-
no, we're
for-
not staying here.
yeah,
no.
for 3 years. She was like, there's a whole room with unpacked boxes. And, we're not staying.
This is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is she a Kamloopian now? What is Kamloopian?
Kamloopsian, I think. they
Kamloopsian,
call them.
right,
I
yeah,
think
right.
so.
A loopy.
Yeah, well, she has no choice, right?
Ah, well,
she
there you
could,
go.
you know.
So, do you have a gallery in Kamloops?
There's no more gallery in Kamloops.
Really?
No more. There was a really good gallery that opened. You would know the Hampton Gallery was called. You
Yeah.
probably remember, right?
Absolutely do. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that opened shortly after I arrived, and that was my first gallery, of course, because she like took me on, and I was like rocking it right away.
Wouldn't it be funny if she said, "Well, I like your art, but maybe you should be in the East"? You know, you're like,
Yeah, right.
like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's a joke. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. Do you have a well, you're in the same gallery I am in 421. Are you still in 421, or is that?
No.
Oh, what went on there? Spill the beans.
Well, nothing really. You know what? I don't know what it is, Doug, but I've been in 3 or 4 galleries in Kelowna over the years, and it's never been a good market for me.
Really?
I know.
That's crazy because
don't
I
understand.
was like, when I got into Gallery 421, you were in that gallery.
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
did
like,
a show.
For me, honestly, I'm going to tell you this. I thought I did it. I'm actually showing in a gallery with my peers that I admire. I
Yeah.
was like
There
so
you go.
proud of myself,
Yeah.
going, I'm coming up the ladder.
Yeah.
And now you're not there. Oh, I guess I better quit.
Oh, yeah,
Bye,
there you
CJ. I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. No, I know
Yeah.
CJ and I love them. They've been very good to me, and
Yeah.
I love them.
They're great people.
The guy before him was wonderful and was great for me. I'm not sure we Rick or
I don't know.
Rick and Moen or whatever.
I got.
And his wife, he was good to me. I don't know if we jived. It was just
I didn't
he was a
know that
gallery owner and I'm a painter, so it was nothing.
Oh.
And CJ's an artist, and we drank and whatever, so it was
Oh.
good. And then John Einerson owned the gallery for that, and of course, whatever. He didn't want
Yeah.
to talk about that. That's just
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
Hi, Johnny, I love you. Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
So, are you even in a gallery in Kelowna?
Not right now.
God, that's crazy.
No, but I might. There's rumors, so I'm not going to say anything yet, but we'll see.
Ooh, stay
Yeah,
tuned.
I'm pretty
Stay
busy, so
tuned.
I'm not in any rush. So
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so here's the thing that we just found out earlier upstairs
Mhm.
as we chit chatted. You've never been to the Stampede.
indeed,
That's like a what?
I know, right?
How do you be like out this west, this
Yeah.
far, and never? And first of all, you haven't like the art show is like so huge and so
I
big,
know.
and
I
and
know.
you'd crush it, man.
No, I don't do trade shows.
I
That's
know,
not
that's-
my thing, right?
See, that's a me thing. I don't.
Yeah, I
do
don't
that
do
either.
that.
I don't.
like stand around for 10 hours a day
can't.
for a week and a half or whatever it is, and talk
My
to
wife does it.
people,
She's the
like-
queen. She's
I
the. She
know.
does it. She just crushes
Yeah,
it.
she's charming and attractive, and
I know, and
so.
I'm ugly and stupid. I know. So anyways, yeah, you nailed that
Yeah,
pretty
I know,
much. All right.
so-
I know.
Yeah, you got to have that skill set, right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
And
I
I'm
don't
like,
have either of
I'm
them.
going to stay home and paint and send them off, and you sell them for me, right?
Yeah, and that's getting tougher, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting tougher that galleries are falling left, right, and center. And
Yeah.
no, I haven't seen an agent. When I first started, I would have agents come to me and go, I'd like to represent you and maybe wander around and market your paintings if I
Right.
could. And they'd take whatever cut they'd take. I haven't seen an agent. Galleries. just disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just things.
Tough biz.
Tough biz. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So we've done things online together. We've done critiques. We've done talks. We've had things. But I want to just go back to the kind of Rudy thing that we had, because the one thing I admired was when we did a talk for Mastrius or whatever it was.
Yeah.
We hit on the same thing. We went to art college and we did not. We did not have a good experience at art college.
No, it wasn't for me. No.
No. So tell me a little story.
Yeah. So that was what, back in the day, that's what you thought. That's what I'm going to do. I want to be an artist. So what do? You go to art school and get a degree, and they're going to teach you all about how to be a painter and how to make a living. And it's like, no, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, when I went, it was that we had Alberta College of Art had two sections. One was visual communications, which was ad art. That's how you do advertising art and
commercial
design and commercial art and whatever. And then they had the fine art side. Well, I didn't want to be in advertising. I just wanted to paint. I wanted to paint.
Yeah.
I went to school and they didn't teach me how to paint. I'd ask all these questions and they'd be, why do you ask so many questions?
I know.
I remember saying to my professor, he said, you ask too many questions. You're here to create. Just be creative. And I said to him, I got a little problem here. I am creative. If I wasn't creative, I wouldn't end up in art college. I need you to teach me what to do with my creativity.
Right.
Show me some things. And they were like, well, we kind of don't do that. I know. Teach you how to be more creative. Yeah. I'm like, well, you don't need me. You need to take people off the street that aren't creative and show them. I'm already creative. And I realized at that point, third year, I'm like, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I stood at the top of the Alberta College of Art on the hill by the little statue, and I'd look down below at all the things, and I'd go, oh, look at all those fourth-year people all lining up to get jobs as cab drivers. Because there ain't no work. There's no galleries. You didn't teach me how to paint. Galleries didn't want you. You'd almost say, oh, I came from Ontario College, Alberta College of Art. They'd be like, well, see ya. Well, we don't want that. And I know that Erica, who works at the store, Erica Newman, she said that she's Ontario College of Art. She said she had a completely different experience.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, they took us to things. We drew cadavers and we did courtroom drawings, and they taught us all these venues of, here's a bunch of stuff that you could do with your art. Do you want to be a sign painter? Do you want to be a courtroom drawer? Do you want to be a fine art? Do you want to be a painter? Do you want to be a potter? Like she said, the options were so endless for her. I'm like, God, I got none of that, man. Yeah. I got nothing but arguments with teachers.
No, they didn't like me.
They didn't like me. I know. We didn't fit that
I was
mold.
asking all the wrong questions. Yeah.
Well, you're the king of acrylic, man. So here's I'm going to tell you a little funny story too. So you probably don't remember, but Teresa, a friend of mine, Teresa from Medicine Hat. So I know Teresa. So I help her paint a little bit too. So I go to her place and she's got all these paintings with all this weird magenta everywhere. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what's with this magenta? And she's like, oh, no, David Langevin says you got to do this and this. And like, I don't know. She goes, well, I'm going to glaze it. I'm like, okay, glaze it. She goes, well, yeah, but it'll turn a different color. I'm like, well, no, glazing doesn't do that. You see, glazing is this and this because I'm an oil painter. Anyways, she glazes this thing and it totally turned a different color. And at that moment, I thought, I think I want to take a class from you.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, wow, that was absolutely nutty. I did not know, and I still don't know. And I got Sue sitting over here in the corner. Hi, Susan. Say hi.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan. She's sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
She does all that. People come, I take workshops, and she's like, well, Sue says to do this. And I got to just get over my acrylic thing. I really do. I got to get over it.
Yeah.
I say, every time I do a workshop, I get in the class, and I say, somebody says, oh, are you painting in oil or acrylic? And I go, I paint in oil. I'm a professional artist. I don't paint in acrylic.
Yeah, right.
And I get this, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, you have a unique style, like your colors and your, I'm just always in awe. So here's a question. Like, what do you look for in an artist? Like, what would you collect? What would you buy? What do you own? What do you look for? Because for me, I'm like, I want anything that isn't me. Yeah. I don't want any more of me, man. I don't even want to look at my own crap.
Yeah, we always like stuff that's not our own, right? And if I was a collector, and I'm not, because I'm just want to paint and I don't want to buy other people's art. I'll trade art with other artists.
That's
do
where
that,
I'm
right?
90% of my
That's
art
what
comes
I'm
from.
getting. Yeah. If I've got art, it's because I traded with someone. But for me personally, I like abstract to look at.
Oh.
That's my thing. I can't paint abstract.
Oh yeah.
Well, I
don't
can.
Say that. Oh,
Well,
come
no,
on.
I can totally paint abstract, but I get bored real fast. So,
But that's the whole point of abstract is that you could
no,
do 100,000 of them and not be bored. But
no, for me, it doesn't challenge me. It doesn't pique my interest. I don't have any interest in doing it. So
when you say abstract, are we talking like pure abstract, like
non-representational?
Non-representational.
Yeah, like shapes and colors and weird lines and I look at other people's abstract, like some good abstract artists, right? And they're just brilliant, and that's what I would hang on my wall. But I'm not going to buy it, but you know what I mean.
My favorite thing to tell people is that abstract art has more rules to it than regular art. That's what I believe. Because, okay, how would I ever explain this? So you get these people who go, oh, it's abstract. There's no rules. You have no rules.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You have no rules.
And
I'm like, okay, if you say that, like in abstract art is free. You're just free to do anything. Freedom. We have freedom here in Canada, and lots of countries have freedom.
Right.
But what do we have for freedom? We have 75 layers of government, 95 layers of police, 95 armies, everything, all this stuff to protect the stuff for us just to do what we want. So if you want to be free and abstract, you need to know some rules. You need to know some shit. Okay. And you need to know some design and some composition.
Sure.
These guys that tape a banana to a wall, forget it.
No, that's not art.
That's not art.
It's annoying.
But really good abstract art
is
actually got a whole bunch of rules to it.
It's the same rules. I just tell people it's the same rules.
It's the same rules.
Because to me, I mean, my analogy would be it's the difference between instrumental music and music with words and lyrics. So you play an instrument, it's the same thing. But composition, design elements, their value, like all of those,
it's all
aesthetic elements have to be there, and you have to nail it just like we do.
Yeah.
So or it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
for sure.
So you don't go to art college, you get out, and then you're like, oh, I should, I don't know, I'll be an Amazon driver. I don't know what we do these days, but did you always in art? Like how you make a living, man. I'm gonna say this for you guys out there. I probably can't name but 10, 12 people that I know that I would say make a full-time living out of being an artist.
That's rare.
It's very rare because they either, like me, teach or have a secondary job or have spousal support.
Right.
Like, and I'm not dissing anyone for all of that. Yeah. But if you wanted to, like, there was a day you could just be an artist. Like a guy like Duncan McKinnon Crockford would be like, a Scottish guy just like, no, I just painted. That's all I ever did my whole life. I painted, and my wife did wifey things, and I painted. That's what I did, and I sold art. Went to the gallery, sold art. Yeah. It's tough out there, man.
Yeah. So
how do you, when you done art college, did you drive a cab?
Yeah. No. I kind of lucked out because for whatever reason, I always had a little head for business. So I've got that. And you can teach that stuff because it's fundamental, it's basic stuff. But for whatever reason, I had a knack for business. So I was selling art when I was a kid and doing commissions and stuff like that. So I always knew how to do business, and money stuff was always easy for me.
Yeah.
So what I did is I guess I've always been into sports, like, and I always played like high level sports, right?
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
What's your sport?
Well, it used to be squash. That's what I got into.
Hate squash.
Yeah, I know, it's nasty.
No, I liked racquetball. And then somebody said, you got to try squash. I'm like, the ball doesn't bounce back.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you have to work to get it. It's too hard. I like standing in the middle of the room waiting for the ball to come to me. No way.
I had the opposite problem. I tried racquetball and I said, when's it going to land? Right.
Squash, yeah.
Anyway, so I used to coach and do tournaments and do all that kind of stuff in squash, right? And so one day, and I was actually in Calgary during the national championships way back in the day, right? And we're all sitting around in the lounge after, because after the tournament or whatever, you all sit around and everybody's drinking. And what do you talk about? You talk about, well, why did I lose, and how come blah blah blah, and how do we beat this guy, and how do we and it was always the same thing that artists were yapping about. So it was athletes. The guys that lost. Artists the same, but we'll get to that. No, so these guys are sitting around going, okay, you know what? It was the ref. He just messed me up, man. He had made all these bad calls, and I would have won, but blah, blah. Or I had a cold last week, or I had the wrong racket, or I wish I would have had my proper shoes, whatever, right? And they're making all these excuses. And the other thing they did consistently was they all had a great opinion and ideas about what it would take to beat the top guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do this, and you got to do that, blah, blah, blah.
Except they never did that.
I don't know. But I'm sitting around after how many times this happening, I'm sitting around in the room and I'm looking around and going, you know those guys they're talking about? They win all the tournaments. They're not here. They're not talking to us.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the wrong guys.
Yeah.
So that was a revelation for me.
I'm in the wrong house.
I'm talking to the wrong guys.
Yeah, you're bitching about how to get up there. And so, they're up there. I should be with those guys talking to them.
So for me, I was like...
gold.
5% of the players winning 90% of the prize money in the tournaments.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, I'm talking to the wrong guy. So I literally went to those guys and I said, what are you doing that the rest of us aren't doing? What makes you different? What makes you a winner? And what are your strategies? And they, most of them were pretty generous. Say, well, I'll do this, that, and the other thing. And if I lose, I'm going to study this. And said, some of them said, I'm training next week. You want to come train with me? Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, that's what it takes. And so after years of going to galleries saying, will you please sell my art? I changed my strategy. And what I did is I went into the squash club because I was a coach, right?
Yeah.
And all the rich people play squash and they play golf and they play tennis. So I had these millionaires playing squash, right? So I went to these millionaires and I said, I'll give you a free squash lesson if you let me pick your brain. So I went to these guys and I said, if you were an artist, what would you do to be successful? And the fascinating thing to me was that they mostly just had questions for me rather than answers. So they said, well, I don't know. They said stuff like, well, what's the difference between selling a hat or a pair of shoes and a painting? What's the difference?
Yes.
And I said, I don't know that.
Yeah.
They said, well, you got to know that. And so I learned basic market fundamentals by picking their brains because these are people that know how to sell stuff, right? And then I changed my strategy about how to get into galleries. I thought to myself, I'm only going to talk to galleries that have been in business for at least 10 years, through at least one recession, and they have top tier artists, and I'm going to find out what it takes to be one of their best artists. So I booked some appointments with some of these galleries, and I said, can I just come and talk to you and ask you some questions? Sort of like as if I was like a student doing a paper on art market or something. So I'd go into the galleries and I said, who's your best-selling artist? And they said, well, these 4 people represent 80% of my sales. And I said, what do they do that the other ones aren't doing? And they said, well, they do this, 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 and this. Dude, and they don't do this, this, and this, because that's death, right? And I was like, do you think they'd if you give them my number and ask them to call me and so I can talk to them? And that was my lesson, right?
Wow, I just learned a whole bunch. Wow,
but that right? You talk to people who are good at what you want to do. That's why people come to our workshops because you're a great painter. They say, how the hell does he do it? And they want to come and learn. So that was me with the art business. I was like, okay, what are these guys doing? Like the guy you were talking about, half dozen or a handful of people making. I said, I want to be one of them.
Yeah, I remember.
But I'm not going to do the Calgary Stampede. That's not my thing.
That's not on my radar. It's the first, and some man.
It doesn't mean it doesn't work. I know some artists that do well there.
Man, there's guys, but they're cut out for that thing. I'm not cut out for that either.
Yeah.
I just remember my buddy Jerry, who now Jerry Markham, who's a killer good painter and was living in Vernon, Kelowna, and all that area. He's in Cranbrook now, but when he wanted to learn how to paint, he was taking some lessons, and then he came to me and said, "Oh, I want to take lessons from you." And I said, "Well, I don't know, whatever." But he goes, "What?" I said, "What do you want to learn?" And he goes, "I want to learn how to paint." And I was like, "What?"
What?
And he goes, "I want to learn how to paint."
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to learn to paint. Right. I want to learn. How do you learn to learn to paint? Like, what are you doing? What do you do?
Right.
That I could do, which is what you're saying.
That's exactly right.
And I was like, I'd never heard that before. And I'm like,
it's the first time I've heard it.
Well, I just said to him, well, this is what I did. And I said, look, I failed at art college and was terrible. Yeah. But I went to everybody that I admired and said, what do I got to do? And I finally had a guy at a workshop say to me, Randy Sexton, bless you, you're not here anymore, I love you. But he said to me, you're over workshopped. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, you take too many workshops. So you do this for that style and this for this style and this. Right. You're not you. You're pilfering from everybody. He goes, put it in the bag and shake it. Where's you? Yeah. He goes, don't take a workshop for a while. You need to just go home and paint. Right. Like, you know what to do. You're just not being you. And
you've learned enough.
Oh, yeah. That was so amazing. And then, then you take the odd workshop here and there and you top it up and you get better and you learn a little bit from someone. But I was rabid. Oh, I'll take a workshop from anybody. I'd be 4 workshops deep every year and everybody, different palette, different colors, different style. And I'd be like, oh, my brain was just swimming. And I'm like, I got no time to even for me. Yeah. And he noticed that. And bless his soul. Yeah,
there's a time to step away and step in.
Step in, exactly.
Step away and yeah. But that's how, if I was starting over, I wouldn't go to art school. If I wanted to do what I do, be a painter, be a good painter and make a living in this, I would just take workshops.
Yeah, I've told people, parents come to me with
it's
kids.
A plug for Sue. There you go.
Yeah, plug for Sue. Go Leading Edge Workshops. Woo!
Leading Edge. They're the best.
So I've had parents come to me. So my kid wants to go, wants to be an artist and anything. And people come to me and go, I'd like to be, an artist, professional painter. And they go, I'm going to go to art college. And I'm like, so I would say if you want to go to art college and you want to do design, you want to do advertising art, anything, some of that stuff, fine. I said, they're not going to teach you set design. They're not going to teach you fine art. You're not going to get into a gallery. They don't teach that. Yeah. That is not.
They don't know that business.
It's just not in their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to be an easel artist? I said, you want to be an easel artist? You come to classes here. I'll set you up with the right teacher. Yeah. And you take from so-and-so, then you take from so-and-so, and you get well-rounded. You need a well-rounding of information to get you where you're going. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my friend Cheryl Petty, I love her dearly. Great painter. She teaches at the store. She's come a long way. She came to me one day and said, I would like to make a living at art. How do I do this? And she had been painting for a while. And I said, you got to go and you're going to close the windows. You're going to close the doors and you're going to go in your studio. And I don't want to hear from you for maybe a year, maybe 2 years. Right. And you know what? I don't want to hear about money. I don't want to hear about making. I just said, I just paint. Yeah. Just paint until you're so sick of painting and so comfortable with painting. And then you go out in the world and let's see what happens. Yeah. Because otherwise, that's it. There's just no other way to do it, but you got to do the work.
Yeah, it's thousands of hours, as they say, right? Yeah.
Well, I know, as I always joke, my art teacher, my private art teacher, what a guy I took classes from, said, it takes 100 miles of canvas to become an artist. And I went, oh, it does? I went, yeah. So I started painting 10 by 40 right away. Like, oh my God, we'll get this done in no time. We'll just do long ones. Yeah. No, anyways. No, yeah. I know. So how long? So you leave, you're out, you're done. You're marketing and you're painting. Do you have another job ever? What's your first job? What was the first job you ever had?
Well, when I was a kid, I had all kinds of different jobs, but
right there.
No, I did some teaching. So when I was in Montreal,
Yeah.
and I wanted to, I was teaching art. So I taught in high school for a few years. I taught at college.
You taught high school art.
Yeah.
Don't you have to have a degree?
Yeah, I got a degree in art education. I got a master's degree in art education.
No,
I
what?
totally did that. Yeah.
What?
Well, because you get out of art
You're
school.
all famous, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but you get out of art school, like you said, and
Yeah.
it's like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to do this. So I had to get a real job. I thought, I'm going to do what those buggers did to me. I'm going to go get a job teaching because, like, what are you going to do, right? And I didn't want to get a laboring job. I didn't want to be an electrician or anything. I was not going to do that, right?
100%.
So I went and got another degree, and I taught art, and I got Sue and we were talking about this today. I got a really cool job at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, and all the big commercial museums, they have these education departments,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I got in there, and it was a really cool job, and I taught myself how to paint through the conservation department, because my big glitch was I'd learned how to paint alla prima, and I'd learned how to paint photorealism when I was a kid, like the Alex Colville or Robert Bateman, like every little hair on the dog, So I taught myself how to do that stuff, but I was just fascinated with the old masters of the Renaissance and Baroque periods. And not because I wanted to paint like that, because I wanted to understand how Caravaggio put his paintings together, because there's some techniques in there, and there was some stuff in the way he painted and the way the paint looked and the transparency and all that.
Oh, they're glowy and weird, and there's just some stuff, man. It's just...
So I was like, I was bringing these books to my painting teachers in university, saying, okay, here's this Rubens painting. You see that horse, and you see that cloud. What did he use, and what color, and what medium did he use to get that effect?
Yeah.
And so they had no clue, right? But I kind of bumped into the conservation department at the museum, and I was like, okay, how come they're telling me not to use black when Caravaggio is black?
Yeah.
I really like his stuff, right? So what's the deal with that? And so they had all these answers to my questions that I didn't get in university. And so what I did is I taught myself how to paint by doing what I would call virtual workshops with all my favorite dead painters, right? So I would go into conservation libraries, and I'd pull out all the information I could find on Caravaggio and how he put his paintings together, how he did his underpainting.
So you're reverse engineering.
I reversed through conservation.
Yeah.
So I said, that's how Caravaggio put his paintings together. I'd practice those techniques that he used.
Yes.
Until I had got what I wanted out of them, and then I went on to Rubens and Rembrandt and Veronese and Tiepolo,
Hang on.
and away we go.
Stop the bus. You used to oil paint?
I still am an oil painter, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's probably now only about, I'd say 10 to 15% of my production, but I still paint.
Okay.
But the thing is, and I was telling all the wonderful people in the workshop today, all the techniques that I paint, all the techniques that I use are traditional Renaissance Baroque oil painting techniques. I've just adapted them to acrylic. The cool thing about it is I can do a whole painting in one sitting with 12 layers of glazes and veils and so on.
You can't do that in oil, my friend, and that is, I will give you that.
I can, but it takes me 6 months.
No, that's what I mean. You can't do that in oil in a day.
No.
You can wait and do. I got 37 hand rubbed glazes. I know.
No. So my oil paintings that I'm working on now are going to the galleries in the late fall or next spring, because that's the time. The time management and the time lapse is different, but the techniques are the same, right? Yeah.
Right? Oh, wow.
There you go.
Super cool.
Right? I thought so.
An acrylic guy. Wow. All that. And you're wow.
But acrylics have come a long ways in the last 30 years, right? Since I started, more than that. I had acrylics when I was a kid, but they're way better now.
Oh, they're way better now.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Well, just the whole idea of what they that people have said we need this to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And the companies have adapted to that to make it.
Yeah, they've brought up the quality, and I can do an acrylic painting and put it beside my oil painting, and like 30, 40 years ago, it would be like,
you could tell the difference totally 30, 40 years ago.
No, 30, 40 years ago, it was like, no problem. Now,
I tell you, and thank you, by the way, for sending me restorations, because I do that. But you have, I don't know, there's a guy in Calgary, send him. And I was like, for quite a few years, I'd get stuff go, this David Langevin guy keeps sending me stuff. I know who you are, but I've never met you. Anyways,
well, these are people in Alberta that would contact me and say, can you fix this painting? I'm like, don't ship it to me. Just bring it to Doug. He'll take care of it.
And thank you for that. But but there was a time I'd get a painting and I'd say, oh, it's an acrylic. You could tell right away. Right. And now, I don't know.
No, it's good. They make good stuff.
Things like Golden in the last 10 years have changed their website enough that they start to say, oh, can you paint oil over acrylic? Can you? And they're like, used to be, no way.
Yeah.
Never. You don't do that. Yeah. Now they're like, well, we've adapted to this, and if you do this and this and this, you can probably do it. Yep. Like, they've come a long way to say, we'll work with you. Yeah. It used to be oil or acrylic. Yeah. We don't, liberal or PC. That's it. Never touch anyone. And now they're like, we could fool around a little bit and see what happens. Yeah.
Well, and they just bought Williamsburg.
They did, and they have an oil paint. I know,
and that's good paint. Yeah.
Nice. I've used some of their paint. I like it, but it's really expensive. Yeah. And I don't know if it's better than anything else than that. But I'm not. But they send me. It's so hard. You can't just get one tube of paint and try it and go, I like it or don't like it. No. You'd have to use it for a while, and it's like anything. Well, so you play guitar. You can't go, oh, here's an Ernie Ball extra slinky string. Try that, and you go, oh, I love it or I don't love it. You'd have to work with it for a while. Sure. Right? Yeah. So music too. What's the deal? What did we do piano? Did Mom make you do the piano?
No. We were
David, you got to do piano now. No. Go to
we were a big family, and we were dirt poor. We didn't have music or art or anything. There was no paintings in our house. There was nothing like that, right?
Okay, where were you born?
Sherbrooke, Quebec. I grew up there. Yeah. So we would just
Still speak French?
Not as often as I used to.
But you can understand it and speak it. Sure. Like you could at least you could at least get decent poutine in Montreal speaking French.
Yes. I can go to Montreal and get whatever I need.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So okay, where does the music come from? Was it art first or music first?
Oh, yeah, no. I was, like I said, I didn't play music when I was a kid because we didn't have music at home or instruments or anything like that. We couldn't afford that. So, no, I picked it up later in life. I guess I was in my 20s, and I started playing guitar. And, you get an acoustic guitar and you start
strumming away,
strumming around the campfire, and everybody's singing Beatles songs or whatever. Yeah. So I did that for a while. Then I thought, you know what? I want to play electric guitar. Because I always loved, like when I was a kid, listening to Santana and Pink Floyd. And that was my thing, right? And Red.
Do you remember what's the first electric guitar you bought? Do you remember it?
Yes, I bought. I was in Montreal when I was living in Montreal, and I was a student, and the guy that lived in the building with me, because I was in a really seedy place, and he stole it. So that was. That was my first guitar. I had it for a year, and then he stole it. I was like,
what was it? Do you remember what it was?
It was like a knockoff Gibson. Like, it wasn't like
you didn't get a 56 Sunburst.
Yeah, no, right? No. Yeah, no, that was it. But then later on, I decided I wanted to play guitar. So I did what I did with art. It's like, I'm not gonna just fool around and
go to the top, find out how to play guitar.
Yeah, so I found the best guitar players in town, and I went and got lessons, and I learned,
very quickly,
a lot faster. Yeah.
How many guitars do you think you own now?
I think I have about 10 or 12.
Oh, dude, I love you. That's awesome. That's excellent.
Yeah, no, it's so fun, and I I have a really good band, and we've been together for like 13 years. It's a really good band.
Ah,
I mean,
that's crazy
and that's
good.
other thing too, right? I surround myself with really good musicians.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
they're
you
going to
play-
make you sound better,
but
right?
then you play off of each
The
other.
super drummer and bass
You
player
play
is
off-
the key,
yeah.
right? Get a good rhythm section, and then my buddy plays keyboard, and we both sing, and we're like good vocals together, and so yeah, it's a good band, and we
I
play
love
lots
that.
of Santana. And
One of my art teachers, John Compton, said to me, "You need to surround yourself with all of the best art that you can see."
right?
And he said, and this is way before the internet, but he was like, "You got to buy art books. You got to be looking at art
Right.
books all the time and look at good paintings." And so part of my studio is on the top of my thing all the way around. I've got all these giant pictures of paintings that I love,
Right.
new, old, everything. And I put them up for students to look at. But he made me do that in my first studio in my house. And he said, surround yourself with everything that's beautiful and good so that you're always on this plane.
Brilliant.
You're up
Absolutely.
here. You need to know so that you instantly, if you see bad art,
Yeah.
you recognize it because you're so used to being up here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that's gold that people don't. And
But that's like the thing with music and sports. Like I when I was coaching, I took my top juniors and I said, we're going to go train with the national champions, like the top players in Canada. We're going to go train with them. And it's like a month training with these guys takes your game to the next level. And that's the
100%,
same with
yes.
anything, right?
yeah, so those guys that say, oh, they go from junior or whatever, and then they go to the NHL, and they go, yeah, I got him in the NHL, yay. They get up there and they go, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is a completely different world up here.
Different game.
Totally. They're like, I thought
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll tell you this story. I took a workshop. This is so many years ago. I took a workshop from Scott Christensen, and he would make you write a thing. You needed a 500-word like essay or whatever to say why you would take a workshop from him and are you worthy? Like, what are you studying? So
I like that.
It's
Well,
funny.
should we do that?
No, well, here's the gig. So his gig was to weed out the weenies.
Right.
I only want people who seriously want to learn. Well, I took the workshop and we were all the same. It didn't work. It doesn't work. You could write anything and you're still a weenie. But anyway, so I go to take this workshop thinking I got accepted. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
I'm on my, this is fantastic. I'm getting on the ladder and I'm going to climb up. I go to the Scott Christensen workshop. I'm out there and I see all these guys with their plein air equipment and they're all so good. I got my crappy French easel with a broken leg and I got a bucket and I'm like, I said, oh, I'm on the bottom rung of the ladder. I'm like, when I left there, I went, I don't even know where the ladder is. I'm not even close to what these people sitting on the beach could paint. I was like, I put my tail between my legs. It was a 14-day workshop in Oregon. I put my tail between my legs and came home and said, that is it. Hunker down, baby.
There
You got a lot of shit to learn before you're even close to where these guys are.
Yeah.
And I never looked back.
That's
I just
what
said,
you do.
I got far.
Yeah.
It was the worst workshop I ever took and the best workshop I ever took because he didn't teach me shit and it didn't come around and it was a lot of money. But I learned so much about who I was and what I need to do to get there. Good and bad, right? It was bad from that standpoint, but good, man.
But what you see, though, right, is that very few people do what you did. Because it's like, I'll do the sports analogy again, right? So we took the top junior player that we had in BC, right? And he went and played against the number one player in Canada, who was at the time the number one guy in the world. He didn't get a point. Right. So you learn where you're at, like you say. And then you think, like you said, I can't even see the ladder, let alone get on it and climb up it.
100%.
And so,
100%.
but the people who are willing then to go and put in the work.
I got to get to the ladder.
Right.
I'm going to find the ladder. I'm going to see the ladder. I'm going to get on that bottom rung,
So this is
baby.
rare. What you're doing and what people like you and me have done is rare because most people see that and go, okay, that's too much. And that's why, so I've always, and we talked about, you and I talked about this before, I always kind of make the distinction between teaching and mentoring because I do both, but it's totally different, right?
Right? 100%.
Right. So like when we open up a workshop, I don't care who comes. Like, and I'm not going to test you or give you like what you were talking about. I was like, you can come and you can, and they know it's not a beginner workshop. They should know that. But if you're a beginner, that's fine. Come on along, learn what you want to learn.
Yeah.
But when I'm teaching, I'm just giving information. I'm downloading. Here's how I do this. Here's how you do that. This is the best practice for this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just teaching, and you learn what you can.
Yes.
And you go away with whatever you can take in. When it comes to mentoring, because everybody wants
mentoring's
to be
100% different.
Yeah, so you don't get to choose me. I choose you. That's
I
the difference,
I
right?
wish that was the way it was. But if you come to me for mentoring, there's going to be tears.
Yeah,
you're not going to like some things.
Well, and how many people have come to you for mentoring, right?
Yeah, they usually run away after a while,
right?
Because I can be kind of a dick.
Well, then they'll come to me and they'll say I want to, and I'll say. Like if I'll choose to mentor, and I've mentored several artists over the years, and they've all done really well because I know what to look for in somebody I'm going to work with.
Yeah, if you're going to mentor someone, you don't just take anyone.
No. But it's just like when I'm coaching a kid, and they say, "Oh, I want to be this good," and I'm thinking, "Well," and I don't tell them that to their face, but you don't have what it takes. I'll give you some lessons. But I know an artist right away that comes to me and says, "Oh, I want to be this."
You can spot them,
and you know right away. Yeah. And so what I'll just say is, okay, go away and do this and come back to me when you've accomplished that much. Kind of like what you were said earlier, right? Yeah. And it's going to be a year or two. And I said, come back to me after that, and then we'll take it from there.
But if you don't even do that, then I know where you're at.
But they don't come back.
No, they never come back because they didn't even do that.
That's right.
I know. It's always, you can't even do the bare minimum of what I'm asking you to do to get to the next level. It's like, I don't think, I don't know.
No, it's tough.
And art and making a living in art and the whole thing about, like, let's go down this road for just a tiny little bit, but I teach a lot, you teach a lot, the workshops and all of that, which is a whole separate thing. Like having enough time to paint enough to teach, so you got all that. Then you've got to paint some stuff that you need to sell because you need to pay rent, or at least I would like more steak and less peanut butter, but so you've got to paint something that sells. But when do you find time to be creative and explore and go out and just fart around? And who cares? I'm not making any money at this. I'm just. Do you do that? Do you create? Do you have free play? Are you free? Do you have free play?
I don't know what. I don't have that frame of mind, and I'm not sure. I never paint stuff I don't want to paint.
Yeah, okay, good.
Like, I just paint what I want to paint.
But do you experiment ever? Like, do you go, oh, I saw this thing, I'm going to try a little of that and see where it goes?
Yeah. Like, if you look at my work over the last 30 years, it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
And it keeps changing. But no, I'm...
But it's not a conscientious, I'm going to fart around with this. And...
So, no, I know, I'm not like that, I guess. Okay. But I'm very goal oriented. So, and I have commitments, and I have shows, and I have, galleries want work. And so I'm painting, but, it's, if I wasn't enjoying it and I wasn't having fun and it wasn't fulfilling, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, so
100%. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, if I had, because there's just never enough time, right? So if I had more time, and there isn't any, because I paint pretty much full time, and then I teach, and then I do music, and I play tennis, and I fucking go hiking, and I go all over the place, right?
Wait, tennis? I'm a total tennis guy. But what about pickleball?
No, I am saving that for when I can't move anymore, maybe. Oh, that's where retired tennis players go to die.
Pickleball. Hottest sport in America.
It's so big.
Don't get caught, or don't get something. There's some saying or something about pickleball. I've never played pickleball.
No, it's big. Yeah,
I was a tennis guy forever.
Right.
I did
love
a little
the game.
racquetball, and I was a tennis guy for sure.
Well, and like me,
Ryler, you're gonna play tennis, buddy.
There you go.
Right. He was tennis too. Yeah.
There you go. I love the game. I mean, when I sort of transitioned out of squash, which was my sport, and I started playing tennis.
Yeah.
So that's been my sport.
Oh, now. I just wanted to be Andrew Agassi so bad.
Right.
When he had the
He's playing pickleball now, though.
Oh, please don't, please, no. No, but he had the long hair, and he was so cool. Yeah. And then I read his book, and I found out it was a wig, and he was losing his hair, and he hated it. I was like, please, buddy. You were so sexy. I loved you. Yeah, I was always a tennis guy, too, eh? But there was always a little...
But that was a wig. That was a wig.
because he's losing his hair. So,
I knew
and
he
then
was losing his hair.
He'd sweat and it would move, and he had to fix it, and he started to lose because he was fixated on his hair.
know that.
You have to read his book, and he goes, "Oh, it was so bad."
Oh, that's dark.
He goes, "So I went through a whole dip where my career went to shit because I'm worried about this fucking head." And finally, he took it off and said, "Okay, I'm bald. Look, I'm losing my hair.
Yeah.
And I don't care. And I'm married to Steffi Graf. I don't care. I got the hottest woman in the world.
Yeah.
Shut up."
Yeah.
And as soon as he took the wig off, boom, he's back. And he went right back to the top again.
I remember that dip, but I didn't know it had anything to do
Yeah,
with
it was
his
his hair. I read his thing. It was
I remember that dip in his career. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so if I have a dip in my career, and check my hair.
Oh, you got good hair, bud.
Okay, so what's your mom? Your mom was a mom? What'd your mom do? What'd your dad do?
My dad
Wait, let's go back. The brothers and sisters. Hang on. Let's talk about that for a second.
I got 7 of them.
Oh, you are French Canadian, my friend.
Yeah, Catholic, French Canadian Catholic. My dad's French and Irish. My mom's Lebanese, so it was like this weird mix. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So, could you cook Lebanese food?
We grew up with that stuff, right? And it was weird in Quebec because we're eating all.
So
I was so embarrassed going to school with this weird stuff in my lunch bag, and the kids are like, "What the heck is that?"
It's naan bread with poutine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that's that. Any your siblings art?
Some of my siblings are have some talent and some stuff, but they never pursued it. And
did your parents encourage the art?
They were supportive, right?
Yeah.
So, most parents were like, you're gonna die of starvation if you do that. They were supportive. Yeah. My dad didn't care. He didn't notice anything, but my mom was supportive, and so that was a blessing in a way because I didn't have anybody telling me I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it, but it's not like
till I got to school. Then I found out, I can't do this. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's okay. Yeah. So, did your mom work, or is she just a mom? Like 7 kids. Your mom must have been
8
mom.
kids, dude. 8
8. Yeah. 7 siblings. 8 kids.
I'm number 7. Yeah. So.
You're like almost the baby.
Yeah, and that was a good gig in a big family. I'll tell you what.
Little kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
what did your dad do? What was his job?
He was an accountant, and then he did insurance stuff.
Wow, that's wow.
Well. Look out.
Apparently, paintings are falling all over the place. So, anyways, wow, that's crazy. You got a lot of, dude, man, you must have had the best Christmases ever. Like, how crazy would Christmas be with all those people and fun?
Not just Christmas. Our whole childhood was crazy. It was like, 10 people crammed into this little house. And where do you live?
Like, where do people sleep? And
yeah, exactly. Piled into one. It was nuts. Yeah.
Wow, you just don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Like maybe in Utah.
My friend next door had 9 kids. My other buddies had 8 kids. Yeah, I was like,
that was just
a lot of that going on there.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So you leave home. Did you ever have a paper route? Did you ever?
When I was a kid,
you ever worked at McDonald's? No, I don't know what a French. Hey, give me a French thing. What's a little store in you had to work at
the dépanneur. Yeah, that's what they called it.
Yeah, right.
That would be like the corner store. Or
did you work there? And
no, I got jobs in the summer, landscaping and working on the farm, and throwing hay around and stuff like that when I was a kid. And then when I was in college and university, I got random jobs in restaurants. And
did you ever give your older brother a wedgie? A good, like one of them?
I have 4 older brothers.
So you took one down? Did you take one down?
I took them all down. Because, when you grow up in a family, it was like chaos. And I was tiny. I was a small little guy. And so I had to learn to defend myself. So I got vicious. Like they stayed away from me after they learned I was like a wildcat.
I'll stab you with a bright number 8. You're only going to stab you the butt end of a bright number 8. You don't go near me. No.
That's right. That's what we.
That's super cool, dude. Wow. Yeah. So and then now, so what do you do? You still play squash?
No. I quit playing squash about 15 years ago and took up tennis.
Oh, so you're like hardcore tennis and Kamloops tennis?
As hardcore as I can. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so I play a lot. Yeah.
So you're
I love the
you're
game.
in good shape. Do you ride a bike? Because like Kamloops, like I think everything in Kamloops is uphill.
Right?
It is. There's no downhill.
Yeah.
Everything's uphill. You want to go to the
Yeah.
Aberdeen Mall?
Yeah.
It's uphill. You want to go to Costco? It's uphill.
Yeah.
Everything's up. Everything's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend moved to Kamloops. That we used to live together, and she ended up moving to Kamloops. And my parents lived in Shuswap Lake, so we'd go to Kamloops occasionally. If my dad had to buy something really weird, he'd go to Kamloops. And when I went there, I was like, it's all uphill. But those Russian olive trees are so beautiful there.
That's nice, yeah.
It is. There's so much to paint there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so different.
You know, it is, Doug. And, you know, when I got there, I'm like, okay, I wanted to be out west to paint because I wasn't inspired by the landscape down east. It just didn't. So I was doing my funky trees and some abstract-y stuff. But I kind of wanted to do the mountain scene and all that. So that's kind of the other reason for moving out west. But when I got to Kamloops, I was like, I don't know how to paint this.
What's crazy?
Like, this is
It's halfway between Vancouver and Drumheller. It's like there's pine trees, but there's Drumhellery stuff. And,
and it's sagebrush and
lots of sage and those Russian olive trees that bend and they're silvery. And
it took me a couple of years to get my groove going for how I want to give this life in my paintings and how I want to sort of represent this stuff. So I started doing some little Kamloops scenes, and that sort of got me just because Kamloops people, right? They were like, "Oh my God, somebody's painting Kamloops!" So they just flew off the gallery walls,
I love
right?
that. Yeah.
So, really, because I was selling 30, 40 paintings a year through the local gallery. That's a lot for one artist, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that was a good start.
Keeps the light bulb on in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so. You wanna let's give some people some I don't know. Where are you going next? What are you doing? You got anything you want to achieve, do, or give some advice to somebody out there and say, like, what do you got to do to get there? Like,
get where?
I don't know. What do you want? Do you have anything on your radar that says I would like to achieve this, or do you just get up? Okay, what's your routine then? What you get up at 7 a.m. and paint in your underwear like me? Oh, that's a visual you didn't need to see.
No, we don't need that.
Yeah. No, well, I don't know. When do you paint? Do you have a routine?
Yeah. So I'm a early day painter. I'm most brightest and sharpest and productive early in the day. So I start early. I get up early. I play with the cats and do stuff, and then I'm in the studio pretty early. I'm usually ready to do something else by somewhere between 3 and 5. I'm going to go and play tennis or something.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of my.
So
routine.
When you say you're in the studio, what time are you in the studio?
Oh, between 7 and 9.
So you paint all day.
Yeah,
like not every day, but you're like that's because me, man, I can't even do. Yeah. I'm 3 hours. I could maybe do 4 sometimes, but man, I'm exhausted after that.
Oh no, yeah.
No, that's good. I'm not dissing that, man. It's like I gotta step my game up.
I usually have several paintings on the go at a time, right? And so I'm just like can't wait to get in there and take a run at this one.
That's a thing. Let's talk about that. Do you? How far do you go on a painting before you either stop? Do you stop because you're ADD and need to quit that and move on and whatever? I don't know. Like me, right. I start a painting. I'm 15 minutes in. I'm like, I'm done.
I want to do something else.
What's next? I'm like, we should do charcoal. We should draw a squirrel. I'm like, oh my God, it never ends. I can't finish anything because I'm like, I want to do the next one.
Yeah, I get that, right? I want to move on and do other things, but I mean, I can't, and it's a personality thing. Like I can't leave it unfinished. It's like if I start something and I know where it's going to go and I know what it's going to look like when it's finished and I know the process and I know the system, I know how to get it to the finish line. I know what to do and I know it's going to be good and I know it's going to work and I know it's going to sell. Like I got to finish it. So that's my thing, right? So that just makes me naturally goal oriented. So I just I started painting. I was like, okay, I'm going to finish it. And so I've got a show with Mike Fobb next or in August or whatever, Mike and Minma. So I want to have at least 15 pieces for this show. It's a group show, so I don't need a lot more than that. But so it's like, okay, I want to have these many paintings, and I want them to be this, and I want a couple of those, and I want a couple of those. And
so it doesn't matter. You're goal orientated. That I got this is where it needs to be. This is where it needs to be. I'll get back to that, but the whole collective thing is happening for you.
They're happening.
Yeah,
they have to happen. Yeah,
I wish I was more like that.
And I've learned over the years that I'm one of those. I really feel lucky because I don't rarely have a dud that doesn't end up where I expect and want it to.
Really?
Like, it's rare for me. And I know that's
and that ends today's podcast. Nobody likes you anymore. You're out. Goodbye.
I know. That's not everybody, right? And it's not
me. I rarely don't have a dud. Everything I do is a dud. Come on.
No, you're a great painter, so you can't get away with that. But and you read biographies of great artists, and it's a kind of a personality thing or something, because like you read about Rembrandt, and he was like struggling and always annoyed and didn't like this stuff, and it's like he was just like that, right?
I know it is.
Yeah, and then you go and you read about Rubens, and it's like, okay, done.
I know. You do this and you do this. I'm going drinking. You paint butts. You paint lions. You paint boobs. And make sure that chick's fatter. She needs to be fatter.
Exactly.
I'll go drinking. I'll be back this afternoon. Let's get
and
this
he
shit
was like the most famous artist in Europe in his time. Like, he was huge.
Yeah.
Right? But
so what I learned was, one of the things for me, I don't know where I learned this. I read it or something, but somehow it was, okay, you're tired. You need to be done because you're making mistakes now.
Right.
Like you're just going through the motions. Like, you've lost your creativity. There's nothing happening. You're just, anyways, take the painting till you get to a point where you go, see, now I need to fix that, and I'm going to finish that sky, and go, I'm at a point where, okay, I know exactly what I need to do tomorrow so I can leave the painting.
Yes.
Right. And then I'm okay. As long as I stop where I know what my next move is. Otherwise, I can't abandon the painting, and I get all...
Oh, no, I'm exactly like
just
that.
like, oh, my God, I can't stop because I don't know where the end is. But if I find a little place, I can stop, and I'm okay then. And I'm like, okay, then... But I don't know about you. I go to bed at night sometimes. That painting's rolling around in my head. I'm like, oh, my God. Riker's in the room. Say, hey, buddy.
Hi, little guy.
Come on the podcast. Come on the podcast. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I always go to the handsome artist. Yeah. Anyways, my grandson's in the room. It's all good. Listen, I don't know how long are we? We're good? More? Less? Okay, all right. Anyways, listen, David, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to my house. Thank you for coming to Calgary.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming to teach for Leading Edge with Sue. Continue the best ever.
Yeah,
and man, like coming and so I get to know you better. I mean, we've hung out a few times. We've done online things, but having you in my house is a personal honor.
Thank you.
Thank you very
much.
All right. Woo!
Ciao.